Hey everyone, how's it going? I've just finished a 30-minute meditation session and I was reading a little bit from this book, which is from John Kabat-Zinn and it's called Mindfulness Day by Day. This is the Romanian translated version, but you find it anywhere in any language. So yeah, and since I've lost some momentum on YouTube and I think I haven't posted for like 2 weeks, I figured out that this would be a nice topic to discuss together because my life is transitioning right now and I'm kind of in a constant change of my core values, of who I am, of my internal state, and even my time and work and energy are put in other aspects of my life. So yeah, lately, for the ones who don't know, I mean, you anyway wouldn't be able to know, but yeah, I've kind of detached myself from all this validation, exterior, kind of rat race life, which I started to hate a lot. And I was very deep in it. And yeah, I wasn't happy. I was losing all my momentum, all my motivation, all my dopamine on things like getting validation, of caring too much of what people think about me, staying on social media, which does that job very well. And yeah, you basically don't enjoy the moment. And I was sick and tired of going to nice places and spending beautiful moments and having my phone stick in my hand just to picture it and share it. And don't get me wrong, if it's genuine and you really want to share some nice things, some nice moments with some people, do that. I highly encourage that. But you should be very conscious if you do it like from a real place and from your whole heart, or you do it just because inside you want to be validated and you are constantly thinking, what do the other people think about me? How many people saw my story or my post or things like that? I was there and it wasn't nice and it wasn't easy, but yeah, I've detached myself from that. And professionally speaking, right now I am at another stage of my life from the past year, which was a lot about partying, and I had some job which I hated, and yeah, basically I was very unmotivated and I wasn't doing the things that really, I wasn't waking up in the morning with a real desire to work and to live my life and to make awesome things, which was a problem. Now I'm working on a side business on Elgo Academy along with Mircea, and I'm very honored and it's a pleasure to kind of change the perspective and work for Amazon as an intern. And what I want to say here is that my life changed a lot, I think in better, but this change, this transition isn't easy. Even when you move to a better stage of your life, these changes don't come easy and there is some work that you need to put in. For example, when starting a new business for Algo Academy, right, I had to do and I had to learn a lot of things and skills, which I really didn't need for a classical job. I needed to learn how to be self-disciplined, how to have a schedule, how to wake up in the morning, how to work a number of hours a day, how to do the marketing, how to make a great team with Mircea, how to communicate better, how to get feedback better, how to be okay with the thought that it might take years for our 100 clients to come, a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of energy. For other example, there is the Amazon job, right? Which, yeah, I had to learn a lot of new things, new skills, new tools, maybe new programming languages. And that's not easy. I mean, it was very frustrating. And I want to make this video just as an appreciation and kind of giving back what I've taken from one thing that saved me through all this transition and all this period in my life, which is meditation and mindfulness. I have a couple of months now, I think, in which I have a very good momentum on meditating. I've been meditating almost daily, and I hate to say it almost, but that's the truth, for a couple of months, and yeah, my life definitely changed a lot. And yeah, I know it's going to be a little bit longer video on freestyle. I don't have a script, but I want to cover a little bit some of the advantages that meditation gave me personally. There are some advantages which are definitely psychological. There are health advantages. And there are emotional and even productive and things that will definitely get your professional life to the next level. So let's start. And we will start with my favorite part, which is always the science and biology behind it. Because I've learned in life that there are a couple of things which you can understand psychologically or let's say on a high level, but there is always a better explanation, which is basically at the source of things and behaviors. And those are the hormones and the neurotransmitters. And my favorite neurotransmitter, I've talked about it a lot endlessly, but I will again, is dopamine. Dopamine is basically the source of life, right? So you kind of have two brains. The first one is the brain, which makes sure that you survive, right? So in order to survive, you need to eat. These days, it is way simpler, right? You can go to a store, you can go to a fast food if you're lazy. And basically, eating has become more convenient and simple each year by every small detail, right? Yeah, but from the other times where we were cavemen and we had to hunt in order to eat, we needed to be motivated to do that, all right? So Mother Nature figured out that our brains are going to need something, a system, right? That is going to push us further and is going to always constantly motivate us to hunt, right? To be social people, right? To have intercourse and sex because we need to reproduce. And yeah, basically your main purpose is to make sure that you are alive, so you eat and you are healthy, and you reproduce and you give your DNA and your genes further and further so that you basically leave something behind in this world, right? So dopamine is the neurotransmitter that is very busy with that. It's supposed to motivate you. When your dopamine levels are higher, you are going to see that you only think about the future, right? You think about what you want to have, what goals you want to obtain, what food you want to eat. So it can become kind of a backfire thing if you don't manage it well, right? And the second brain is the one that is busy with you being happy, being present, being in the moment, right? And it is based on a lot of neurotransmitters, which are called the here, now neurotransmitters. And they are oxytocin, serotonin, morphine, and other one. And the problem in our lives is that there is not a balance between these two brains. Because if you think about it, which one is most important for your survival and for the human species to continue to live and strive? The first one, which motivates you to be a better version of yourself, to hunt, to eat, to get those goals done, to get a better job, to innovate, to come up with better and better technology every day, or the second one, which just tells you to live in the moment and be happy? Yeah, it's the first one, right? So from an evolutionary standpoint, the first brain is the most important. And dopamine, right, which is the fuel of the first brain, is a lot stronger than the other ones, which were oxytocin and the other now here neurotransmitters, right? So dopamine is extremely important in your life. Basically, it dictates everything in your life, right? From your relationships to your job, to your goals, to your discipline, to your motivation, to your passion. That's why I have a joke with one of my best friends, John, who is also super hardcore on working, that there is no passion. Passion is an illusion. You don't need passion. You need to find a thing that you enjoy, and it's not painful to do. It's not impossible for you to do. And you need to take care of your dopamine because, man, you can find the thing that you maybe think that you are going to love your whole life, but from some point, everybody knows that there's not going to be forever like this. And you are going to hate it because in your journey, in your path to master something, hating that thing is natural because it means you've done it for so long, you've done it so well, and you hit that plateau, which is very frustrating. And only the ones which break the most plateaus are the ones who are really the grandmasters of that thing. So you're not going to love that thing forever, right? And this is exactly why dopamine is super important, because even at the point where you don't like that thing so much, right? And you kind of start hating it and you're not motivated anymore to do it, in that moment, dopamine pings you and tells you, hey, remember, this is a goal. Remember, this is a thing that we need in order to survive, right? So you want to become the best programmer? Okay, remember that if you give up, your life is done, man. You are as good as dead, right? This is the dopamine. This is how powerful it is, right? And as I said, it backfires a lot because dopamine was by Mother Nature originally developed to serve hunting and reproducing. These two things. You use it in order to hunt and in order to have intercourse. Cool. Now, the human, along the time, has developed a lot of things which spike your dopamine levels artificially, right? So the only two natural healthy sources are those two. And then there are the artificial ones, which are alcohol, which are drugs, which are pornography, which is social media, and the list continues, right? So dopamine is at a really high risk in these days. That is exactly why I think that human species didn't evolve as much and they weren't so innovative, because unfortunately all the brains, like 99% of the brains of at least my generation, are messed up, like for real, are really, really messed up. If you start analyzing and educating yourself about dopamine, the neurotransmitter which again dictates everything in your life, and you study how it is affected just only by social media, by alcohol, by cigarettes, by drugs, by pornography and everything, you'll see that it's very, very sad actually, but we are nowhere near at the point where we were before having all these temptations and before having social media. So yeah, that's it. Now getting back to meditation, what is the relation between dopamine and meditation? Well, there is dopamine, the first brain, and the here now neurotransmitters, or the second brain. They can't coexist. When the levels of dopamine are super high, the levels of the here now neurotransmitters are very low, and in reverse, right? The problem is that when the dopamine is high and the here now is low, you want to achieve things, you have goals, and a very natural process which happens with all of us every day is that you never enjoy that accomplishment. Never. You just want more. Because this is basically the motto of dopamine. Only more, get more, give me more, I want more. This is what dopamine says, right? The other ones, I don't want more. It's enough. I'm happy with what I have. Now, because naturally, we have the dopamine, which is more powerful than these ones, which is okay. But we have artificially all these small things in our lives which spike the dopamine and basically messed up these circuits, these dopamine circuits. We are messed up. And the dopamine basically isn't there anymore to do its normal job to assure us that we live and reproduce, but it's super messed up and only goes left and right to all the shiny objects in the room and always chases these short-term things that give you happiness and spike the dopamine temporarily, and then you are miserable again and you are not productive, you are not a better version of yourself. Meditation heals these circuits. Once your dopamine circuits are messed up, here comes meditation and heals them. Meditation, if you do a 20-minute or 40-minute meditation, you will see that your dopamine levels go very low and you're here now, because that's why meditation is for living the moment, is the practice of being present. The here now neurotransmitters go very high, right? So they can't coexist. Remember, this goes low and this goes high. When this goes high and there is no dopamine in your circuits, this is exactly like a road. You can imagine a road. And if there are thousands of cars on that road, obviously you can't fix it because you can't do anything. You have to block that road. There is no car on that road, and then you can start repair the road. These are exactly the circuits in your brain of dopamine. You need to have very low levels of dopamine. Keep it under control in order for your brain and the here now neurotransmitters to be able to heal those circuits. And yeah, it's not going to be quick, but eventually, if you do this every day or very periodically, you will see that you're going to be more happy, you're going to be more present because of the here now, and your dopamine is way more controlled. It is not lower. You can still have high levels of dopamine, but the dopamine isn't so messed up anymore, right? It isn't so fragile to small things like social media like alcohol, like drugs, and all these addictions, right? It is not. It is way stronger, and it can be focused and oriented on the things that really matter. And you are going to start enjoying those things. This is what healthy dopamine does. It isn't so vulnerable and so easily attracted of these short-term gratification things. And it is more goal-oriented on the long run. It kind of starts being smarter and says, okay, I know I have social media and all these things which are going to give me a real ramp of dopamine, but I know I have work which is not so attractive. The dopamine levels are not going to be as high as they are when you do the social media thing. But I don't need those levels. I'm not addicted anymore to those levels. So I can still enjoy working. I don't need to do social media. This is the biological, scientific main advantage of meditating. It is awesome. And believe me, more videos are going to come and we are going to discuss more about it because, man, I think it saved my life and it is the reason of 90% of my greatness. I think meditation is the one, and it really, really helped me on tough times, right? But we are going to discuss more about it. By now, you will remain with the biological facts, and in the next videos, maybe we'll talk about the psychological ones and how it helped me with all these new changes in my life. Andy, out.